Hello, and thanks for coming. I finally have a remote microphone. It's under here. We'll see how this works. Anyway, I'm preparing, because I think I have found all the pets now. I'm preparing to do what I would call the family portrait. There are 30 machines, and I'm pretty sure I found them all. I will do one last look around. But I'm not going to shoot the family portrait with an iPhone. I will use my Sony DSC-R1. This camera was made as kind of an in-between stopgap while Sony came out with their SLRs, which of course eventually they kind of went back to things more like this, which are not an SLR. They are not. The sensor and the lens are really close together, and I think, from what I've heard in the latest Sony things, they have more and more, there's a nice cloth, things that have come out that use the same technology, realizing that mirror was fine, but it really didn't need to be. And the lens that is on this camera is a Zeiss lens. Now the other thing, that looks better. The other thing on this camera, which I've not had on for a while, but I will crank it up. There are many things that are beautiful about this. Now, it's funny, it didn't come up, maybe it did before this come up and ask me for the date and such. I don't know, because I turned it on. Maybe I will turn it off and turn it back on again. Oh yeah, here we are. Okay, so we'll put in the year. Now, it starts at 2005, which means this camera is now pretty much vintage. So, 2022 9. What is the date? Oh, come on. September 23rd. Oops. So there we go. And it's 5:40. Let's say 5:43. Actually, I should double check that on the phone. Yeah, 5:43. Oh, but it's on the AM. We want it on the PM. Okay, so I don't have a memory card in this at this moment. But you know, another thing about this, there was a little bit of memory in this camera. Just a little wee bit. That if I was sort of some spy thing, where someone shoots a picture and there are the people saying, no, you can't have that. And they take the memory card. Say, here, take my memory card. It's okay. But if they had, of course, okay, there are two settings on this camera for different kinds of memory cards. One is a CF and the other was some Sony thing. So say they didn't have a Sony card in, and they shot a couple of pictures on the CF, but then flipped over to the Sony, where there's no memory stick, you can still take a picture or two, and it'll be buried away. And then switch back. You could show whoever it was that wanted the picture, look, here's the thing, here's the whatever, just take the stick, leave me with my camera, and it would be fine. And you would still have the picture to show to the world of whatever atrocities were going on. Anyway, what I'm going to do, and this was kind of a weird thing that came with this camera, well, it didn't come with it, I bought an extra, is, see, when I do this, let's see if I have much stuff I can drop. Okay, when I do this, this is an adapter. and I want to be able to do this in a wide screen format. So this is an adapter that screws on the bottom of the camera. Actually, in thinking about this for a quick moment, this may not be wise, because I also do want to have this. Oh yeah, no, there's a tripod mount. Okay, no, we're okay. We're okay. I thought, oh, it can't be. They wouldn't have done that. And they did not. So I can screw this on, and it is very nicely secure. And there's even a hair stuck in it. That we don't want. Oh, golly. Now, where would a long hair come from? Yeah. All right. So we do that up tight. And then we go to this bag. Now, I would like to say that I have used this lots, and it was really a wise purchase. But I haven't used it lots, and I would say it probably wasn't that wise a purchase. This is a tele-end conversion lens, VCL-DEH175R, made by Sony. And it clamps, at least it should, clamps on the front of this to give you quite the impressive looking lens. And of course, in photography, it doesn't really matter if it's better. It matters if people are going, ooh, look at that. That's why I think a lot of people have those massive lenses on the end of their cameras. Now, I'm just going to spin around for a second and have a look through here. Oh yeah. Interesting. If I go all the way back, it ends up being a little wee dot in the middle. That is not what I had in mind. I'm wondering, is there some setting that I am forgetting? Is there? The other thing that's really magical, of course, that's to zoom. I don't want to zoom. Is this really doing the wide thing that I want it to do? Oh, you know what? Oh, no. It has been a long time since I have had this out. This is indeed, as I look at it, of course it's a zoom lens. Which, of course, is always handy. Have I used it that much? No. Did I get it kind of because I was like, oh my, I gotta have that? Yeah, probably. Just a moment. Somewhere in this bag. Ah, yes. Sorry. It has been a while. Alright, this is what I'm after. This is the wide angle. Alright, let's try that again. So we take this and line it up. And you know what? It won't go on, because on the front of this at the moment, I have a protector. And if all goes well, if I turn it enough, $67mm. I think it should unscrew. I think it should. it has, oh dear. Maybe I need to take this whole thing out of here. Maybe the end is just spinning. Oh, you know what? Oh, okay. I think I had two things on here. Oh no, that was just the front piece. Okay, so there, hello Penny, there is the extra piece I had on to protect the lens. And of course the lens does need protecting. Hello Penny. Hi Penny. I know. Okay, so I have one of these cameras that does actually have a lens that got marked up when I took a spill. It was tragic. Alright, let's see if we can get this back on. It takes just a little lining up, but it's hard to see where you're lined up. There we go, I think. Like anything with threads, if you're not sure, make sure you're sure. Okay, so now this hunker should slip on. Yes. Look at that. Now, let me just look at, oh yeah, that is a wide angle lens. It is. Hi, Penny. So eventually what I'm going to do, yes, Penny, I hear you. Penny, you're going to come up here. All right. Yes, that's Penny. Eventually what I will do, and I'm getting really close when I talk about eventually. What is that? Oh, okay, that's a flash thingy. I'm going to put this big lens. Hi, Penny. Back in this bag. And I'm going to put this cover back on this, because this is now set up. And this can carefully go back in the bag. There are many things in this bag. See, I have not been doing photography for, oh, okay, there's a card reader. Photography for a while. I used to never leave the house without a camera. That is another story. Oh yeah. Battery, charger, other things to clean with, lens cap. Oh yeah, the remains of a remote. And actually, I have to dig around because the remote is very handy. It is not impossible to, hello Penny, to, you know, do the time thing and jump into the chair. But I like the idea better when I get to do it. So here is the camera. The other thing that's great about this camera, that you can look through the viewfinder, but also it has this little screen, which you can turn all the way around. Well, I guess it goes like 270 degrees, but it's mad. And the other thing, you can have it pointing right down. So if you want to get something off the ground or really low to the ground, you don't have to crawl on the ground. One of the best pictures I took long ago was of a train. So there I am on the tracks. The train was not moving, of course, it was parked. And I was able to take this, turn it sideways, put the camera right down on the rail, and see that I could see the train in the reflection on the nice shiny rail. It was magic. Magic. And I don't know if I could have got it with another camera. Or probably with another camera with this sort of setup, I could have. Anyway, so we're preparing for the family portrait. We're not there yet. Are we, Penny? No, we're not. Penny likes to walk around on some of these old things. And I was talking to a fellow, Steve Gray. He said, I find stacking pets more than 3 high is dangerous. Hi, Penny. How are you doing? And I said, yes, I agree, because in the midst of putting this all together, I was carrying one thing as I got towards that back corner, and suddenly the pet on the bottom kind of slid, and the one went back, and then one tried to fall off the front. Meanwhile, I had a super pet in my hand. This was not a fun moment. I managed to contain, and there was no fall, there was no spill. But I certainly wouldn't want to do it again, and if I think back to when it happened, I can't exactly tell you how I get it, or I got it to stop doing what it was doing. It was scary. And I think the thing that was trying to fall was indeed another super pet that actually has the super pet boards inside. Because there are many super pets here. I think I counted maybe as many as 7, but only 2 that I remember have the boards in. Although up on the mantle, there is another upper board. But others have found other homes over the years. Because there's a lot of people who have 8032s who want super pets, and there's people who have super pets that have no boards in the top that wish they had them. So, and of course, there's probably people out there who maybe run things or have museums or collections that they don't care if it works. They don't care what's in there. They want the machine to sit there and say, super pet. And I will have some of those, I'm sure. I'm not sure if I have made it clear. I haven't really started to test things. I know there are some that work. I know there are some that don't. How many? I don't know. I do remember, as I was once on the hunt for super pet things, it seemed that the upper boards always seemed to work, and the 8032 boards did not. So that is not encouraging. I think I will turn around here. Now, I don't have a memory card in here. I do not. But I think I will turn around here. Oh, I have the cover on. And just to test my theory of what I said before about not actually needing. Oh, what is that thing? Is that the flash coming on? Oh, no. I'm going to turn the flash off. I think we have enough light in here. And what else do we have here? Oh, it's in manual. No. I would like it. Normally, I often do manual focus. But in this case, I think I want it to autofocus. And I will shoot. That's another thing about this camera that is magical. When you do focusing, there's a mode where it gives you one little square. And you can move that square around on the screen, and that will be the focal point. That's where it focuses, and it's beautiful, because if, say, you're shooting some flowers, or a person, or, whatever, you want it to focus on that spot. You don't want it to focus in the back, and then have the person, or whatever, out of focus. So let me just check and see. Yes, that picture is there, even though there is no memory card of any kind in the camera at this time. And according to this, the battery says it should last for another 774 minutes. I'm sure if I actually had, if I had the flash working, I'm sure that would be less. Anyway, where did I put the lens cap? Oh yes, lens cap. Alright, I will put this down, turn it off. I don't mind putting it face down and make sure that that thing doesn't come off and the lens does not get hurt. So we are getting there on the family portrait. The other things I'm going to work on are lighting, of which at the moment I have some other lights, and I have some other lights back there. And I am not a lighting expert. I've also got some lights mounted up here, kind of those ones that you clamp on a desk and then you can move around. Anyway, I am going to work on it, and I will use some of the sneaky little skills that I've learned on movie and TV sets about hiding lights behind things and other things. And lights don't have to be blaringly bright. Hello, Penny. Penny, Penny, Penny. Hello. Penny, Penny. Where are you going, Penny? Penny, you could come and sit in this chair. You could. Anyway, lights don't have to be bright as can be. They can be subtle. Subtle. Anyway, we are getting there. We are. It has taken quite some time to get all the machines together.
That was easy.
And it hasn't been easy, especially the one from the garage. Anyway, I will have one last look around and make sure that we're done. The rest of it will come down to picking the frame, and I suspect it's going to be somewhat up, looking down, but I want to make sure I get everything in, and then I will, as they do once you pick a frame in photography or on TV things, try and make sure that the frame is full or pleasing in some way, so there isn't some glaring something that is not good. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to do all that. I know, Penny. I know. Penny, do you want to come up and say hello? You want to come up, Penny? No! Penny likes to talk, but she is not really a cuddle cat. But if I pet her head, she'll put up with me for a few precious seconds. Isn't that right, Penny? Isn't that right? Okay, we'll put you in the chair here. There you go. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, this is a Sony D. My mind goes blank. Oh, hello, Penny. DSC-R1 CMOS, 10.3 megapixels. Compared to today's cameras, it's not the latest, greatest anything, but they're still quite wonderful. And my daughter, who I gave one 2 years ago, because she had another camera, she said, but your pictures just look better and prettier and whatever. And I said, I don't know. Anyway, it also shoots in RAW. I've used this because I was shooting pictures behind the scenes on things at some point in time, and I have used this because it doesn't make the big click. It's not silent. Got to remember that. Don't lose that. It's not silent, but it's a lot quieter, which means it is not as obtrusive as a click, 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 click. And also there's a thing that a lot of stills people on shows shoot with, and I struggle for the name of it, but the camera is basically enclosed in a box. And it has a specific name that I used to know, that I do know, that I can't remember at this moment. Anyway, it'll come to me at some point. But with this, you really don't need that. And also, it's not like when they're getting set up, they hear this click, 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 click as you're doing stuff. Because I would shoot as they were setting up, and I would shoot typically like through rehearsals, but not when they were shooting. Unless I could do it from a great distance. Because, I mean, it does make the tiniest little click. The camera also does make some sound, but you can turn them off because they're not real. It's not like it's the sound of the mirror and the lens and everything doing it, or the shutter doing its thing. They're fake sounds, so you know that you've done something. Right, Penny? Right, Penny, yes. So, anyway, if you do happen to see one of these cameras at a garage sale or online, they used to be, fairly expensive, but that was now. Well, actually, the date comes up as 2005. And I guess that must have been when they started. I seem to think I maybe had one before then, but maybe I didn't. But I got it very soon after it came out. I did. And it has been quite good. And one day, maybe I'll get back into shooting pictures more of the time and carrying the camera more of the time. as I say, that's another painful story. It is. So, the other thing I will continue to do as I do things here before I shoot the final picture is I'll look for other things to put in here that are good accessories. For example, this is a t-shirt from the 2015 World of Commodore, put on by T-Pug. And it said on it, still living in an 8-bit world. And it's black, and there it is. I have not worn this. I probably could. I don't know. Let me check the size. Unfortunately, sizes seem to have shrunk over the years. Or perhaps I've got bigger. Now it's a 3XL. I probably could, but I really need something bigger. Anyway, I will continue to look for more things besides the computers and the, wait for it, 8010 modem to fill the frame. And of course, here's my Commodore, non-Commodore radio. Oh, and wait. And I guess these shouldn't really be in here because, of course, here we are with the pets, but these are Amiga socks, never worn. And yes, I have both. And there's the Commodore phone, which I had and had destroyed long ago and finally found a replacement. The other thing I've been doing is just out of view here is I found at a thrift store a thing that is a 8-track tape player. Now, unfortunately, it ate one 8-track, and I'm not sure if that was my fault or its fault. I will be very careful before I put another one in. Also has a cassette player. It's an AM/FM thing, and it also has a record player on the top. And the record player is it does 33s and 45s, and it has a speed adjust thing. And I don't know when this was last used, but when I put a 33 on, even if I cranked up the speed, it really wasn't fast enough. So if I put it on 45 and adjusted and tweaked around, it would sort of make the 33 sound okay, which makes it sound like the 45s aren't going to go. But anyway, what I did, just to give it a workout, and I've never had one of these apart before, is I did plug it in and leave the turntable spinning for about a day, hoping that if that might invigorate it, kind of like torture testing a 1541 disk drive. I don't know, but that is, of course, another story. So as I glance around here, I have more lights to tinker with and figure out. And also, I have behind me here, this 8296 will not be here for the picture. The keyboard is up there. It's going to be somewhere else. I had to push back because I didn't want to stack this and risk doing terrible things. And of course, there's a shirt from House of Computers. There's a couple of Commodore hockey jerseys, and it's funny. I found them in 2 different places at 2 different times, and it was from the same league, the same whatever. And I'm not going to move them now to figure out which is what. Also, there's a bag from the World of Commodore. Aww. And other accessories. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to get the picture done soon, and then I can move forth and test things. Penny, don't mess with the camera. Penny, don't mess with the camera. Penny is rubbing her head on the camera. Oh, you know what else? I just glanced at this camera. Underneath the viewfinder, there's a little thing that you can go back and forth. Now, my eyes have changed over the years, and there's a little thing under the bottom that you can adjust for different levels of eyesight things. I haven't checked it to see if I would be okay with it now if I were to adjust it one way or the other, or if I still need to use reading glasses. Indeed, getting old, well, it's something that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do, but it has its moments. Right, Penny? Yes. Yes, indeed. So, I think that's about it for now. So I will continue to make sure I've got everything here and set up the frame and set up with everything, because this picture, I would think that someday, eventually, and not to be morbid or anything, but I have had pictures that I took over the years when I was taking lots of pictures that have ended up on the programs or on postings of stuff about someone when they are dearly departed. And who knows, maybe this picture will eventually adorn such a program or posting or something when I have left this world. Perhaps. Or there may be something else. I don't know. We'll see. But pictures are important, photography is important, videos are important. History. There was a fellow, Moses Zeimer, and he, of course, founded City TV in Toronto, which was kind of this rebel station. Eventually, of course, it was bought by CTV, and he's gone off to do other things. And of course, he's got tons of money, and now, he can do whatever he wants. But a teacher I knew at my school, who unfortunately has left us, shared a studio with his wife, and as Moses said, if you don't record it, it didn't happen. And I took that to heart and have done my best to record many things and many people and such over the years, and events and all kinds of things. And there are many, many stories, but certainly having sometimes indeed evidence that somebody was somewhere when people say that they were there, even though they say that they weren't there, is a good thing. Anyway, but now, of course, everybody is a photographer because everyone has a phone that has a camera. And indeed, the cameras in the phones are getting better and better and better and better and better. They are. And nobody thinks twice, like, when the Queen was doing her final thing, all you saw, funny, I don't think a lot of people actually saw it going by. They saw it on their phone. But then, of course, they have the video. Yes. So, photography is good. If you're always carrying a camera or a phone and you see something interesting, it's a good time to say, hey, that's interesting, and shoot it. It is. This camera, with its wide angle, would be good for landscapes and things and stuff, and of course computers. Normally, I like to zoom in on things, and I don't really have the vastest capacity of zoom lenses. But it is handy sometimes to get things, once again, of a security nature, like the license plate of a car, or a good shot of somebody who is maybe suspicious. Perhaps. But also, birds, flowers, things, just anything. Anything is a potential subject. And as I always tell people, if you're trying to shoot something, you think it's going to be really good, but for whatever reason you just say, this isn't going to work, just walk away, find something else to shoot. Or somebody is screaming, don't take a picture of my car. Okay. Walk away, walk away, walk away. Anyway, also, tripods are good. I'm using an iPhone over behind me. Hello, Penny, I see you. And I'm on kind of a cheap little tripod thing, but boy, it keeps things steady. It does. So, it's not that you need to carry a tripod with you, but there are times when a tripod is good. And they also make things called a monopod that you can walk like a cane thing and then fasten the camera to. But it's best to have it attached. That gives you a little more flexibility. Although with tripods, if you're picking your frame and picking your height and picking your stuff, it's handy. The other thing, last thing, I always used to see people, and they would be shooting videos or shooting scenes of videos, and what would they do? And I had a tripod around here. They would take out the tripod, they'd pull out the legs as far as they go, they'd extend the upper thing as far as it would go, and that would put it at about the height of their eye. And that's what they do, because it was convenient to shoot from that height. But that, if you watch television, that is not what they do. And I would say, oh, no, please don't just shoot from the same height. Find something else. Find another, really, find the best angle regardless, and then work with it. Because, there were times I was on TV shows like Copper, and, they had a tripod, but they'd have it, extended way down, so the camera was maybe a foot off the turf. And then, of course, they have things on, huge things. Well, of course, now they use drones for some things, but they had massive crane things that have the camera on it. And there would be the operator way down there going, oh, yeah, I'm good here. So, life is not seen from the height of your eye. So if you're shooting something, you want it to be interesting, switch it up a bit. Which is why, when I shoot things on this picture, I suspect it's going to be taken up, looking down. I will be in the front. There'll be stuff in front of me. There might be another table here. I'll probably find a spot where I'm not really in the way of what's behind me. And I'll have I'll have some sort of hat on. And an amusing look. And who knows, maybe I'll have on some sort of Commodore shirt, although most of the ones I have don't fit me anymore. I don't know. I'll see. And if I have to move some of the machines to give me a space to be in, then I'll do that. Because this is a one-time, one-shot, take a great picture, move on, start going through, start assessing, and then start selling off, no pun intended, bits and pieces, and entire machines, as the case may be. So, stay tuned. It's coming. Soon. I gotta get going on this. Oh yes, hello Penny. I've taken a lot of time to think about it. It's now time to do. And as you can hear, Penny is summoning me. So, until we meet again, thanks so much for coming. Thanks for listening. Do you have any suggestions about this picture? I'm all ears. If criticisms, anything. Penny, where'd you go? Oh, there's Penny. Okay, enough. Stay tuned. This is also a good test for this microphone. It's hiding under my beard. I hope it has worked well. Right, Penny? Right, Penny. All right. Bye for now.